Hello, I'm so happy I got a hold of you. Welcome to another exciting episode of Lucious Showcase. I am Lucious T, and welcome to the final week of Monster Madness Month. What a month it's been, and we're closing it off with an iconic series from the Genesis side of the aisle that I know nothing about. Go figure. So let's not waste any more time. You already know what it is. It is a title. Let's jump right in. I've never played any of the Wonder Boy games. I didn't even know Wonder Boy in Monster World was the 5th game. Now, I picked up Dragon's Trap last year from Limited Run when they did the remake of it, but I haven't even opened the dang thing. To be honest, I usually confuse Wonder Boy with Alex Kidd because of the similar naming conventions. But I've heard really good things about the Wonder Boy series, so I figured what better way to close out the month than with this bad boy. So let's dive in.
There's a lot of games out there, some of which you've never even heard of. That's where I come in. I'm Lucious T. I've been playing games since the age of 2, and I have no life. This is Retroactive.
Wonder Boy in Monster World wastes no time in getting started. You wake up and it's game time. Monsters have taken over and it's up to you, Shion, the legendary hero, to stop it. Now, I was surprised his name wasn't Wonder Boy. I guess Shion in Monster World doesn't have the same ring to it. Now, you quickly gain a sword in the first house you enter. He gives you an elixir too. Elixirs act like fairies in a bottle from Zelda and will revive you upon death. You find elixirs very far and few between, and they can only be purchased towards the end of the game, so you likely won't have that elixir for long. I sure didn't. Now, in the next hut, you will find buyable items. Here we learn the extent of this game's RPG system. Shion has 4 available item slots: weapon, armor, boots, and shield. Now, these will slowly increase your damage mitigation, what attacks can be blocked, and what areas you can access. The Trident, for instance, allows you to swim underwater, and the Oasis boots allow you to survive the desert heat. All the items are just reskins of the old ones, and outside of a few, are barely noticeable upgrades. You have only 2 weapon types, swords and spears. Spears are great early game as they allow you to poke and avoid damage. The sword attacks in an arch that leaves your front vulnerable way too often. However, the swords quickly out DPS the spears and become weapon of choice come mid-game. Now, the spear doesn't let you equip the shield either, so they both have their pros and cons. Now, most upgrades need to be purchased from shops for progressively larger and larger amounts of gold. Fortunately, enemies drop random amounts of gold when they die. Coins to big coins to bags of money to big bags of money. Enemies also typically drop higher amounts of money in areas that have higher prices for the items, so it's a pretty steady grind. Except for that stupid gemstone that costs like 500,000 gold. Ain't no one got time for that. Just know farming gold plays a big role in this game. Now, the world of Wonder Boy is easy and fun to navigate. I would compare it to Zelda 2 in terms of combat, but Simon's Quest in the way you interact with the world. The castle acts as the de facto hub area of the world. Each major section can be accessed from it in one way or the other. And once you finish a section, a shortcut back to the castle usually opens up. In all honesty, this game could be called Metroidvania, though it never once annoyed me like Metroidvanias tend to do. Now, the game does a great job of leading you through the world and telling you where to go while making you think you're exploring. It's just not as cryptic. Big chests will be in eyesight as you play, leading you to investigate how to get them, which in turn gets you stuff that becomes crucial to later points in the game, like the pygmy gear. The only time I struggled was when I couldn't remember where the entrance to the ice world was. I traveled the whole damn map and then felt like an idiot when I finally found it, as there are only so many places you can go. Where the game does get frustrating is the endgame. There are very few shrines in this game, and they end with boss fights that usually aren't too bad. But the final castle is a marathon that has you traverse 2 mini-bosses, a big dragon boss, and then a falling platform puzzle en route to the actual boss. And if you fall off that falling puzzle, you have to fight the dragon boss again, leading to several dragon kills and much annoyance. Now, once you beat this boss, you then unlock the true final boss, which has a boss rush mode himself in space! Now, I managed to beat it, and without finding all the bonus hearts, or the best gear in the game probably, but it did leave a sour taste in my mouth for what had been a pretty flawless experience. The final boss has a moving floor mechanic with a saw blade in the middle of it, which is very hard to deal with because you can't tell which direction it's going, and then you're getting hit with lasers, and you have to get right up in his business, which if you touch him, you take damage too. Anyways, this is the type of game I would have loved as a kid. It's big enough to feel vast, but small enough that I could remember where everything was and find my way through the game without needing to stoop to a guide. It also has an ocarina in it, which, my god, what is it with games and ocarinas? Has anyone even heard of this instrument before video games? Either way, I'm sad I missed out on this series, and it makes sense to me now why people go so nuts over it. Time for some Lucious metrics. Game design. Excellent. This game is a well-oiled machine. Mushroom Forest leads to swampland, leads to underwater, leads to desert. It's all paths so smartly that you never get lost. Other than the money grind, there is no time wasted in crushing this masterful game. Aside from the insane difficulty spike at the end of the game, the whole thing is masterfully done, and most importantly, fun. Playability. Strong. Wonder Boy handles well once you get used to his strange sword swing. Levels are fun and easy to traverse. You even get sidekick characters that add some flavor to levels. My favorite is the Dwarf Boy that smashes rooms for you. Now the game isn't perfect, but I don't really have any complaints on the playability front. Cost of entry. Worth it. Copies go for about $30 or so loose, and complete go for about $60. Now I got it with the case for $30, and I'm happy with that, and I would recommend this game to anyone who's a fan of the Genesis, but not the typical Genesis dude. In all honesty, that's probably why I like this game so much. It doesn't feel like a Genesis game. There's even parts that look reminiscent to Mario. Storytelling. Sufficient. I'm pretty sure not knowing the former games doesn't hinder the story at all, and I don't mind. The jump to outer space in the 11th hour was a little weird, but I found the story enjoyable enough. Wonder Boy in Monster World is a fantastic Genesis game, and no doubt series. I'm ashamed to say my Nintendo fanboyness may have robbed me of a cherished childhood classic. If you're a fan of action-adventure games in the vein of Zelda 2, I can't recommend this game more. Taking all that into account from the perspective of a binge-playing game finisher, I give this my Lucious T recommendation of beat it. And there you have it. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you for joining me. What a great month this turned out to be, and what a great game to end it on. It did get a little frustrating towards the end, but not so frustrating to ruin the experience. So definitely let me know if you've played the Wonder Boy series. Let me know if I should play Dragon's Trap now, since I have it on the PS4. And let me know if you thought I missed any other Monster games. I mean, I know that the ones this month were pretty easy, because there's not that many games with Monster in the title, but still, I enjoyed it. Now, as a tease to next month's theme, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet because I'm filming this currently in September, so I'm going to wait until I do the recap to reveal that theme because I have a few ideas, I'm just not sure which way I'm going to go. So yeah, anyways guys, as a reminder, I release a new video every Tuesday. Thank you for subscribing, make sure to hit that notification bell so you see the videos, and it's been so nice getting a hold of you. Take care.